Hi guys, it's Friday. I'm actually getting my video up on time today. It's June 8th, I think. I finished my job on Wednesday. I got these beautiful flowers from my work to say thank you. They also gave me a card and a cake. It was really nice, and they all said that they'd be references for me, which is wonderful. I'm going to get straight to it. I had mentioned on Monday that I wanted to talk about something that happened recently here in Nova Scotia about these two girls. I think there was a few boys there too, but these girls were wearing spaghetti strap tank tops to school, and the principal or one of the teachers told them that they had to change out of the spaghetti straps because it was distracting to other people. Males, I think was specified. The girls refused, and they were suspended. And there were a few points on this. People were baffled that their right to education was taken away because of their choice of dress. A lot of people said that, and part of this I agree with, that it should not be a girl's responsibility to dress in a way that won't be distracting to men. Men should be taught not to be distracted by it. And I can kind of understand that. I think the same thing was with muscle shirts for guys. Guys weren't allowed to wear muscle shirts to school because it was distracting for girls. So at least they're not being gender, they're not putting a gender bias on this. It's guys too. It's a big topic for girls, especially in the summer weather, where it's spaghetti straps and short shorts. And I'm of two minds on this. On the first point, yeah, guys need to be taught that it's not appropriate. And that's just part of it. There's a huge mind shift right now that girls have to protect themselves. Girls have to be the ones to make sure they're modest. And girls have to make sure that they're, doing everything they can to make sure that guys don't hurt them. But at the same point, we're not putting the same emphasis on guys, on boys, to raise them right, to tell them that it is not appropriate for them to make lewd comments or behave in a lewd manner towards girls who are wearing clothes that aren't, they don't cover them properly. I mean, a girl should be able to walk down the street buck naked and not be told crude things or be groped. That's a big stretch there. It's a big, outliner. But at the same time, if a girl's wearing spaghetti strap shirts and short shorts, it should not attract unwanted attention. The guys should be taught that that's just something else that girls wear. On the flip side, what is school for if not to prepare children, kids, teenagers for the real world? And in the real world, there are dress codes. If you show up to work in spaghetti straps and short shorts, you're going to be sent home, and you're not going to be paid for the day. And you need to learn how to dress appropriately for that setting. School right now has become where you have to go. There's hardly any kind of teaching going on. There's no there's a huge thing right now where there was a ministry report, a survey from the Department of Education, from the Minister of Education, and it was asking Nova Scotians for their opinion on the current education system. I happened to work in the Department of Education when the survey went out, and I had big opinions. And I wrote and wrote and wrote, and I not only filled everything out on the survey, I spent a page and a half afterwards on their any other comments section. I actually had to turn the page around to finish my comments. Because it's something I believe strongly about, especially when Xander's starting school in the fall. I don't think students are learning enough. I think there's too much of an emphasis on hurting kids' feelings to hold them back, or everyone needs to be pushed through, One of the things I read a lot in my documents at work, and this is going to go over 5 minutes, and it's going to be my rant, but tough luck. It's going to be over 5 minutes today. One of the things I came across was, how to help children stay in school. And it's a big emphasis on ways to keep underprivileged, low-income, high risk of failing students in school. And it had really good basis But they have taken that strong, solid grounding and made it so that students cannot fail. They can not do a lick of work all year long. They can scribble some stuff on paper and hand it in at the end of the year and get away with passing. That's not school. It's not. It's babysitting with an outcome. And, you know, school has gone into this trying to help, but have pushed it. It's like the old parable, you know, give a man a fish he eats for a day, teach a man a fish he eats for a lifetime. It's the same thing with education. And it's the same thing with dress codes in school. Yeah, you should teach everyone to respect everyone despite what they are wearing or not wearing. And I have to say, some of these girls might as well not be wearing anything with the way they're dressing. But at the same time, we have to prepare them for the real world. And there are dress codes in the real world. So there should be dress codes in school, and they should be enforced. Should they be suspended for a week for not listening? No. Should parents have to take time off work? No. I think that they should have a stack of ugly t-shirts and granny skirts for the girls, and maybe, you know, board shorts or something for boys. And they are required to put these on if they are not dressed appropriately. And if not, then they're sent home for the day. Same thing the next day and the next day. Until either the parents take a stand on this, or the girls end up failing. And you know what? If they end up failing, their own fault. Because they should have been listening to the dress code and their superiors, the authority in the school. So that's my 2 minds on it, and kind of went off and kind of didn't with the minister's survey for education, but I feel that they're very closely related. I've hit 7 minutes now. If I could figure out how to edit this to take out the ums and the ahs and the breaks, then it would probably get down to maybe 6. But I warned you at 4.5 minutes that I was going to go over, and I did. But aren't you glad that I went over instead of not doing it at all? Yay! So that's my blurb rant thing about the dress code. I'm hoping that either I or Debbie will put up a link below with a link to the article that this whole rant was based on. I'm hoping to hear from both of you about what you think about this. And hopefully there's another current events. I know Jonathan had mentioned when we were chatting something about vegetarians. I'd love to hear more about that. Let me know your opinions. You know, we all have strong opinions, and as long as we can respect each other's opinions, there's no reason we shouldn't have different opinions and be able to discuss them like reasonable, rational adults. And since we all live at least 2.5 hours away from 3 hours away from each other, this should not result in fisticuffs. Thanks, guys. Hopefully I can start doing more of this. Not working now, so it might be easier, might not be. We'll see. I love you guys. Bye.